What's up, guys? Welcome back to Flipper Remastered. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. If you haven't already, it would be greatly appreciated. In the last episode, we were given the devastating news that our custom office was no more. And since then, we've started to remodel this unsatisfying effect house. So far, so good. I'm definitely happy with the way that it's coming along. But what we need to do today is get this place fully furnished so we can formally move in. And to help us do that, I've finally taken the time to port over all of our Steam Workshop items that we would have been using in the original game. If you're curious as to how to do that, it's super easy. I'll show you real quick. You just go down to Settings, under General, and then it's this guy right here. Import Steam Workshop items from Legacy House Flipper. Just make sure that that little box is checked. Now, you do have to have the original House Flipper game installed onto your PC along with all of those Steam Workshop items that you would have been using, but it really is as simple as just checking a little box, and then the game kind of does it all in the background. You'll have to restart it, of course. Everything's here. It's not perfect. I gotta warn you, it's not perfect. As you can see, we've got a couple of duplicate items. For some reason, there are 2 of the same vodka bottles and 2 of the same wall-mounted fire extinguishers. Apart from that, though, everything else seems to be in order, so I'm really excited to start using some of those old things that we used to use all the time again. But enough yapping. We've got a lot of work ahead of us today, so let's get started. First things first, now that we have a garage on the side of the property, we're of course going to need a decent looking driveway, and I've already decided that I'm going to use these concrete slabs for that. It's definitely not the prettiest looking paver, but this way it will be an exact match to our sidewalk. I'm going to try to leave a little bit of extra space up here in the front and along the side for some vegetation, just some simple plants. I'm not going to go too hard on the landscaping. I never do anyways, right? That's nothing new. I think that turned out pretty well. I did have to remove 2 birch trees just over here to make space for another row of pavers. And it would have been perfect if it weren't for this dang telephone or electrical pole right there, but that's all right. What are you gonna do? This tree, I'm tempted to get rid of as well. It's a little too close to the house for my liking. We might be able to keep this one, but let's see if the chainsaw can make quick work of it. Beautiful. It's basically a twig. That's hardly a tree. I would hardly call that thing a tree. All right, we're looking better. I'm really trying to boost the curb appeal of this property. Not that we're gonna flip it yet. I mean, that was the plan. That was the plan with the custom office as well. Eventually, we were gonna upgrade to something new and get our money out of that thing, but we only got 60% out of it. Yeah, I'm probably going to get rid of this one too. You know what? It's just right in the way of that. Oh, we're fine. Right in the way of that big window there in the dining room. This looks a little bit better. And then we'll sprinkle in a couple extra bushes, maybe some like flowers or something. This actually, we might be able to get rid of the grass and do, I know there's like, yeah, here we go. Oh, sand. I don't want to do sand. We could do wood chips, wood shavings, I guess is what they're called here. Or we could do a gravel. Gravel might clash with our human brick a little bit. So maybe wood shavings or bark would be better. I thought that they had like, not wood shavings or bark, but like the rubber mulch looking stuff. Maybe I'm misremembering that. I'm leaning more towards the brown bark at this point. I think the yellow matches the color of the brick almost too well. And the white is a little bit too bright for my liking. So let's try this. We'll just sprinkle a little bit in here. And we'll see what we think about that. Yep, I'm sending it. So this whole L-shape area, all gotta be bark. And then when we're finished with that, we can add in some simple little plants. Again, nothing crazy. Just something to church the place up a little bit. We might even have to sell this existing bush. There we go. Just to make this a little bit easier. Our dogs really like to chew on this grass if they ever have an upset stomach. This isn't the exact one, but it's the closest thing that I could find. I want to say the one that we got is called Carl Forrester or something? George Foreman? No, that's a grill. And also a guy. But I'm going to sprinkle a couple of these in here. What about hostas? Hostas are super popular. I guess they could be called something different in here. I'll just look for something that looks like a hosta. Here we go. Plantain lilies. We got plantain lilies, small, flamboyant. Oh, and then hosta. Was I spelling hosta wrong? Doesn't matter. Not important. We're gonna go with a couple of these. It is so incredibly difficult for me to be sporadic when placing plants. My AC/DC just simply won't allow it, but I don't think that that looks bad. I really did try not to have them like perfectly aligned with one another. It's decent. It's decent, but I want to do something different up here so it's not all the same everywhere. How big is a small Japanese maple? That could work. That could work. We need something bigger on this end, I think. And then how about like a medium-sized bush? Right smack dab in the center of that window. And then we can do like some flowers, maybe, just around it. Let's get this thing covered with soil. Make sure it's watered as well. And then I'll just start sprinkling in a bunch of random flowers. And hopefully it ends up looking all right. Even though I have no clue what I'm doing here, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think it looks pretty solid. Of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But now that we have a handle on this, we're gonna make our way around to the back of the property. I'm also gonna sell this like random little rose bush that just sort of popped up out of nowhere. I didn't place that there, let it be known. But we've got to address this area. I really don't love how the railing sort of intersects the window there. So I think what we're gonna do is sell the fence. And then this might be one of those pavers, yeah, where we kind of can't duplicate it and also can't match that same wood color if we were to get that paver in the store. Let me check though. Let me check real quick. As far as wood pavers in that size go, this is our only option, which has a border around it. The one that's here, Bright Meow, does not have a border. There are some curbless options, so we could try this, but again, we're not going to be able to match that same wood texture or color. It's close, but it's just not close enough. So we're gonna do something different, because the back patio isn't gonna remain that same size. I thought I had subscribed to like a veranda thing a long time ago. Here we go. Is there a middle piece, or is it just right side, left side? I was hoping to see a middle piece, because then we're gonna have a post everywhere. It's gonna be too many posts. Okay, so there probably is a middle piece that I'd have to resubscribe to, but we'd have to close the game and do all that. So this idea is out the window. Instead, we're gonna go back to a fence, sort of how it was before, but just make the patio larger. I had to sell the sliding glass door just so we could make room for these new pavers, but I think this door might look better anyways, because it sort of matches our front door a little bit. Oh, but we didn't do white wood on that one. Easy fix. Take out the item modifier. dark ash. There we go. I think that looks pretty solid. Now for the fence, or railing, on this rear patio. We already sort of have a privacy fence here, so I don't think we need anything super tall. I might try to go with this one. We've got more dark ash. Is it too much at this point? I think it's probably too much. But let's just give this a shot. So we've got that one there, and then we just need a slightly smaller one to finish out this side. Is this gonna work? That looks pretty good. I'd love it if it was like the same gap. I guess we can make it that way, can't we? So we'll just slide this one over slightly to like there. And now we just do the same with this one. To finish out this corner, I'm gonna try the same size railing that we just used, and then let's go back to that long boy. And we'll slap him down right yonder. And maybe one more short one. I'm tempted to just leave this whole corner open, but I want to try to bring it out just a little bit further so it's more or less in line with that door. Let's try that. That's pretty bang on right there. Because I couldn't bring out the pavers since there's like this weird gap here. I couldn't bring out the pavers any further. And they don't have like a 50 by 50 centimeter size for this composite decking material. So I think that works. Gives us enough space to have a nice barbecue area back here. Maybe like a lounge area, couch type of thing. But I like this. I'm not gonna bother doing any landscape back here. It's the back of the house. We're only worried about curb appeal, you know? We're the only ones that are gonna see the back anyways. I mean, until somebody comes to buy it, and then they're gonna check out the whole thing, but you get it. So, now that we're done outside, we've made our way inside. I really wanted to do some wainscoting stuff, because they've added that in House Flipper Remastered, but I don't remember where it is. I want to say it's in decorations. Maybe hanging decorations? Here we go. Okay, so they're called wall panels. Let's just type wall panels then. Whoops. Gonna need a space in there. So here's all the different types of wall panels that we have. What I wanted to do was more dark ash, but I think at this point it really is too much dark ash. So instead, I want to try this one out. Let's just get the big one so we can get a feel for it. In white, of course. But my concern was these windows. They're a little bit too low. So we probably aren't going to be able to do that in here. I mean, we could do it on this wall and the back wall. But as we learned with our Yumika previously, we're not exactly going to get that to line up with this archway. So we're scrapping that idea. As cool as it would probably look, I'm wondering if maybe we just do it in the living room then instead. I want to use it somewhere. So maybe this is the spot.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
We've got another very minor setback. Unfortunately, this sliding barn door isn't going to work if we have the wainscoting coming into the kitchen as well. So I might just cap it off there, but then this is going to look kind of strange. We could just get rid of the barn door, too, and do like a pantry door. Maybe even something like this. As long as we can still see into the pantry through a glass door. That's really all I care about. I think that looks great. So, back to wall panels. Let's see if we can finish this thing out properly. So we want this guy, and that is gonna go there, and then we just need a teeny tiny little sliver of a panel. There it is. All right, that's working. And I'll probably finish it out to that wall, but I'm not going to use a corner piece. No, we should use a corner piece. Well, no, we shouldn't. Because as we know, once we get over to here, it's just not going to line up with this archway, and it's going to look super bad. So we'll just kill it right at that spot. But we've got it going all the way along this wall. It stops there as well. Since these windows are just as low, and these are actually lower than the ones that we had in the dining room, I think I'm going to try to get it to wrap around here, too. We'll see. I might have to just kill it at that corner. But let's try this guy. That should be the right size to stop right there. Could we squeeze one back there if we maybe pull this out and then replace it later? I'm gonna try this. Please work, please work, please work, please work. It's gonna bump it out away from the wall, and that looks super bad. Super, super bad. What about grid placement, though? Sometimes that makes it so you can really butt things up properly. There's still a gap. Nope. Okay. So we're scratching that idea as well. Let's get this thing replaced. Maybe we'll just do Yumika. Let's check that out real quick as well. And then I will spend quite a bit of time trying to get... Well, that's not going to work. Trying to get all the other rooms... I can't do things and talk at the same time. I'm so sorry. Trying to get all the other rooms complete with molding as well, with that good old-fashioned Yumika. Nope, that's not going to work either. All right. So we're just not going to have any Yumika in the kitchen, which is fine. I do kind of like it stopping maybe at that door, though. So we'll continue with that and then just have it end in that corner. At least we were able to use it somewhere. That was my only goal. And I don't think it looks too shabby. It's really going to help us out with this wall too, since it's not going to be our TV wall anymore. It just kind of helps dress it up a little bit. Maybe we can do some shelves or something else up there. This will be our new TV wall. All right. Now that we have that done, I've got to spend quite a while, most likely, adding in some good old-fashioned Yumika in each and every room. So I'll see you guys here in just a few minutes.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
That whole process always takes such a long time, but in my opinion is so worth it. I just feel like a house without trim seems unfinished. And while I was at it, I also went ahead and did all of the lighting in each and every room, because neither one of those things is really super fun to watch. But I had to do some different stuff when it comes to our wainscoting. If you remember, we kind of had this wainscoting stopping in the corner of the wall just to make it so the Yumika would actually work everywhere else. I had to do a full corner right there. We had to do another full corner over here so I could do Yumika, because the Yumika and the wainscoting stuff don't really butt up nicely to one another. So doing it this way and in this corner too, I'm not super crazy about it, but I do feel like it looks better than having like a gap here without floor trim. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Let me show you guys the garage real quick. All trimmed out. Got a bunch of halogen bulbs everywhere. That's kind of my go-to ceiling light fixture, though one of you did suggest in the previous custom office to use like some little dangly chandelier looking things over the island. So I went ahead and did that here. And I gotta say, you were right. It works pretty well, and it does help sort of illuminate the whole space. You know, it's hard to do the halogen bulbs in the kitchen since the cabinets, you know, come away from the wall a decent bit. I think it looks pretty dang solid. Back here in the pantry, just two simple halogen bulbs up there. Everything, again, nicely trimmed out. Couldn't quite get the Yumika all the way back into that corner where the additional, like, little pantry cabinet is, but that's okay. These are just the constraints that we have to work with, you know? Here in the half bath, we do have a sconce just above the mirror. You'll see over in the master bathroom, we weren't really able to squeeze one of those in. It was a bit too wide. And then we also have just a single halogen bulb back here in the laundry room. Again, all trimmed out. I did have to sell both of these things and the installations just so we could get that that Yumika to work. Now, you probably noticed somebody has made a return. The fatty, i.e. the flatty toilet. Turns out Yumika kind of makes it hard, actually impossible, to use the suspended toilet installation. So had to do the floor-mounted toilet again. It does take up more space, but you can still get through here into the laundry room, so that's all right with me. And then real quick, I'll show you back in here. We've got another fatty. Had to do it. Really, really did have to do it. 2 halogen bulbs in there. No sconce again. A little bit too big for that area. Bunch of trim in here, though. I think I'm going to do some shelves in this corner just to kind of fill it out a little bit. But we'll do that a little while later on. Some more halogens and more halogens here in the living room. But that's it. That's all I have to show you for now. So what we need to do next is start to go around and change up some of the flooring in a few of the rooms. Obviously, we're not going to do hardwood floor throughout the laundry room and half bath. We're definitely not going to do hardwood floor in the master bathroom, so we have to change that. I think hardwood everywhere else is probably fine. I might do carpet in the bedroom. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But then we also have to do all of the painting and wall coverings and whatnot, so sit back, relax, unwind a little bit, and enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The deed is done. And believe me, I'm just as surprised as you are. We did our usual things in most of the rooms, but there isn't any shiplap inside of this property. And the main reason behind that is we kind of have like the wainscoting already, which is like shiplap but smaller. You know what I mean? So this is the dining room. We've once again gone with gold champagne for this house. I was just looking for something that was like a beige, but like neutral and would kind of go along with any color of furniture that we added to this house. Black garage, of course. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I'm gonna sell that. We're gonna buy literally the exact same thing, except this one is wooden. So we have our dark ash trim around the outside, and then a white wood garage door instead of the all black one. I did the garage door last time around before we had changed all the windows and kind of forgot to revert it to match all of the windows and doors and whatnot. But unsurprisingly, jet black garage again. I just like this combination. I'm really, really sorry about it. Is this door not lining up well either? Some of the doors were like, they had like weird little gaps. This one kind of has one, but whatever. We're not going to worry about that right now. So gold champagne in the kitchen as well. But obviously we had to get our white subway tile in there somehow. So in the, basically as a backsplash, but it goes all the way up the wall in the kitchen. That is all that iconic white subway tile. Even brought a little bit into the pantry here just to kind of make the spaces feel same but different. In the bathroom, we got the white hexagon floor tile, of course, and then a big full wall of white subway tile, and then all the rest are the half wall. I think this was silver glacier, or maybe it was steel gray, I can't remember. Originally, I had painted that gold champagne, but after I tiled the bathroom, I came back through and changed it up just so it would sort of match. Now, I really wanted to try to do some like splashes of color, or at least like accent walls in every room, but I couldn't find any colors that worked well with gold champagne and the floor, and obviously like all the window trim and door trim and whatnot. So everything is, for the most part, gold champagne. If you have any gripes with it, please let me know down in the comments. We can always change stuff around. Where I did do a little splash of color is here in the master and only bedroom. I then opted for a lighter brown carpet. I tried dark brown at first, wasn't feeling it. I think a lighter brown was definitely the move. It's, I mean, pretty close in color to our hardwood floor, so you almost don't even notice it. And then the master bath is basically the same as the half bath. It just has a shower and is surprisingly more cramped than the half bath somehow. But now that we have all of that done, unfortunately, it is time for me to take my lunch break. But when we come back, we're going to go through and do a good majority of all of the furnishings together. And then once we're finished with that, we'll take a short break and I'll do all the little smaller decorative things. And then we'll have a big reveal. So I'll be back in an hour.
1 hour later.
Holy cow, dude, I had way too much food. Had some mole today. It was fantastic. Y'all ever had mole before? It's one of my favorites. Perks of being married to a Mexican woman. We always eating good. But it's time for us to start furnishing this place. So we're going to kick things off here in the dining room. We just need a big old dining room table and like 6, maybe 8 chairs around it. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, a glass top would look good, but I really wanted to do dark ash again, which reminds me, before we get started on that, let me get out our item modifier tool. Originally, we had redone this in white, but I think honestly it's gonna look a lot better in full dark ash. And it does. Back to the dining room though. I gotta stay focused. It's another scorcher today. I do not want to be out here any longer than I really have to. So this, we're gonna center on that big window and try to get it centered in between these 2 windows. So I think if we just drag it to the left a little bit. Oh, wait. What am I doing? We have this. So that is perfect there. It's no longer centered on the big window, though, so we gotta fix that. Here we go. We are looking good. Could also do a tablecloth on it, but I kind of like the look of the dark ash. I mean, clearly, right? We've basically filled the entire house with that wood type. Now that we have that done, though, we need some chairs. Maybe some, like, upholstered chairs would look good. I don't really want them to have armrests, though. I feel like those sort of get in the way most of the time. And you gotta have a comfy backrest as well. These are the chairs that go with the table, or are supposed to go with the table. Does not have a comfy backrest. So we're gonna skip over those. Maybe these? I know I've used these in the past, but let's use them again. We might as well. I think that looks phenomenal in here. What we need now is like some sort of a china hutch for the corner. You know, a place to keep your really nice china. This is it. Finally found one that looks good. More dark ash, unsurprisingly, but I think that'll work pretty well in here. I'd also love to have just some sort of a seating area thing, a spot to put your shoes on and whatnot, but we don't really have a ton of space for something like that in here. What about this teeny tiny ottoman? Like just next to the door? Could work. Make sure we have the details in black. That's gonna have to do it. I mean, it's either there or over here. I think that I like this spot a little bit more. Again, just a little spot for you to sit down real quick and take your shoes off. Did I put that backwards? Or put your shoes on? I did put it backwards. Right there, and now we can actually sit in it. Perfect. Okay, and then like hangers. How about the 75 centimeter one? In dark ash? Or should we mix it up? Maybe go blackwood for this one. Yeah, something a little different. And then we'll put it up decently high. I think that should work well. You don't want to hang your coats up and then have them drag on the floor and get covered in dog hair. You know, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a hanger. Ooh, and then spot for your keys just above the ottoman. And a spot for dog treats, of course. If this property stays around and we don't have a similar issue to what happened with the custom office, I do plan on getting some pets. Probably 2 of them. This just seems too open now, but maybe when we go through and do the decorations, I can find something to fill that area with. We'll circle back. We'll circle back to it. Kitchen is basically done, just needs more decor. And then same thing in the pantry. We're just gonna do a bunch of like food. Thankfully, again, we do have all of these bits and bobs courtesy of the Steam Workshop. So I think there's like, yeah, some food items. We can just kind of stock the pantry with whatever the heck we want. The garage should be pretty straightforward as well. We do have more space over here for like the toolbox and whatnot, but I think I'm going to end up putting it over here instead, just so that way we don't block those windows. Holy cow. I am straight up roasted in here right now, dude. We've got to hurry this along. It's gotten to the point where I can't find the garage tools. Right there. Okay. We should have enough space for the larger tool cabinet. And again, we're going Ryobi. We'll do black outside, sort of that lime green on the inside, maybe some black handles, and then black details. Get that guy rotated around, and it is going right here. Right up alongside that good old-fashioned Yumika. Now, there already is an in-game, or at least there was, Vice? Bench Vice? Maybe I'm just going to have to type that one in. Really? Bench? Well, bench is going to give us way too many options. This. We need this. Who doesn't want a framed photo of a park bench or a picnic table? That's perfect. Oh my god, it was right here the whole time and I misspelled Vice. It's not really a surprise anymore, is it? Let's get rid of that so we can at least sort of see what we're doing here. That's going to go right there on the end. And what else do we have in here for garage tools? Maybe just a couple of wrenches in that Ryobi lime green. I'm not really a fan of the wrench color, though. Let's go light gray. At least then they still look like they're metal. Just put those in the back corner there. I remember there being a lot more tools courtesy of the Steam Workshop. So maybe when we go through and do like the additional decorative bits, I'll go ahead and add those things in. But there should be like a floor jack and maybe jack stands and some other stuff. Like I said in the last episode, we're not going to do a car hoist or car lift in here because we can't get rid of the ceiling. And if we were to use a hoist with a vehicle on it, the vehicle would go through the ceiling, which is obviously less than ideal. So for right now, I guess that's just all that we're going to add in the garage. It's a garage anyways. It's not really much that needs to be added out there. So moving right along here. Just make sure, yeah, there's nothing else other than the smaller decorative things for the half bath and laundry room. Let's do living room last, and then outdoor barbecue living room area after that. So I guess that would be last, and then, dude, the heat stroke is setting in. I don't know what to tell you. It is setting in heavy and hard right now.
What did he say?
Bedrooms are usually pretty easy. We had a bed in here before, but I had to sell it so we could do the Yumika. So let's pick out a new bed. You know what? I think I had one in here that I did like. If I type bed in this, it's just going to pull up all the stuff. Okay, so unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to scroll through here until we find what we're looking for. Totally forgot about those other bathroom sinks. Beams. We'll circle back to that as well. I think beams in the living room would look really, really solid in there. Ooh, hanging desk. This is the bigger one, right? Is that going to be... It's going to be too big. We might have to go for the small one, unfortunately. Wait, no, they're the same length. They're just different depths. So that's not going to work. I mean, even if we went for the first one, if I can get that to work... If the bathroom door tried to open this way, it's gonna clip into that, and I'm not feeling that. So we'll do a different desk. But I know I had a bed in here that I really, really liked once upon a time. This would be kind of sick too, some skee ball. We don't have a ton of room for that either. Is that not the same? Okay, we've got more duplicate items in here. That is the exact same two desks. Ultra wide gaming monitor, that's dope. A retro turntable, little vinyl action could be sick. Xbox Series X, something I don't have, but maybe my wife would want. We have like the Xbox One, not the X or S, but just Xbox One, I'm pretty sure. I things like ancient technology now at this point. Suspicious vase! How could I forget? Every house needs a suspicious vase. And if you don't know what it is, it's just a vase. That's it. Oh, shoe rack. Hang on, let's go back up to the front real quick. This is one of those things that we would add at the tail end of things, but since I just found it, I'm going to go ahead and put that over there. Looks pretty solid. I can't seem to find that bed, so we will be going with an in-game one instead, and that's a-okay. It would also be nice to find a bed that has like a matching set of stuff, you know, like like the Paxson, actually. Like let's have it made. What am I trying to say? Nightstands, dressers, you know, things like that. Blue, we can't do blue because the walls are blue. That would look weird. But we could do gray, maybe. Let's toss this in. Oh yeah, that works. So I want that. Well, we're gonna have to move it anyways, because now we're gonna type Paxson up here. P-A-X-O-N. And that's gonna give us all the Paxson stuff. So their smallest nightstand is gonna be this one. More dark ash. We'll do whitewood faces, whitewood fronts. That's gonna go in the corner, but not fully in the corner. We'll leave a tiny, tiny gap. And then the bed is gonna go almost right next to that. We should have just enough space for another one of these right here. Equal spacing. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, lamp. We're gonna back out of the bedroom stuff real quick like and get standing lamps. 2 of them. And they have to be the same because if they're not, I will lose my mind. This guy. I use it all the time. But you just can't beat it. Well, you could, but that would be weird. I wonder if we could fit a dresser here. It's gonna be tight because the door is literally right there. So maybe we should try to go with the one that's not so tall. Let's see how this would look. It's too deep. It's too deep, and I don't think they have any others that are more narrow than that one. Oh, but Paxson has a desk as well. All right. Bookshelf. We could do a bookshelf here. We need this one, maybe? That looks too short. How about this guy? Dark ash. I hate it. I hate it. Let's do like some sort of painting or something on that wall maybe instead. I still want to do shelves here unless Paxson happens to have a really, really skinny bookshelf. One of these is probably gonna work, right? Maybe this guy? Yep, that's gonna fit beautifully right there. There's not like a front or a back to that, right? Okay. Cool, I like that. Still have plenty of room to be able to get through here. And now we just need a desk. Or should we... See, now I'm torn. Should we scrap the desk for a dresser? I mean, we don't have any closet space here. So that might be the only real option. Otherwise, where are we going to put all of our clothes? I'm going to get this door opened up the other way so we know how much space we actually have to work with. We might be able to do... oh, L-shaped desk. Can't believe I didn't even think about that. Okay, well, that one's going to take up too much space, but there was a smaller one. That was 200 centimeters. Let's go with the 150. That could work. That could work. We can still get in over here as well. Golly, this is a tight squeeze. I 100% made a huge mistake by not making the bedroom much, much larger. Let's try to squeeze this in over here. Whoops. White drawers. Oh yeah, we can do that. I think. Right about there. I'm just gonna slide it over to the left slightly. We've sort of disturbed our suspicious vase doing that. So let's get that reset. I mean, for me, IRL, this would be more than enough space. We've got socks, we've got underwear, we've got pants, and we've got shirts. I don't need any hanging space whatsoever. I could live out of a suitcase for the rest of my life if I really wanted to. I have like a total of 12 t-shirts, maybe 14. And then like 4 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of shorts. You don't care about this. I'm rambling. Laptop is going to go over here. I don't think we're going to have enough room for a proper like gaming station this time around, which is sad. But we might be able to squeeze like a PC or even just the Xbox Series X out in the living room. Should suffice. We do have the Paxson chair. Let's use that. Comfy backrest though, you know the deal. Cloth, we're going to do a black chair, I think, in here. Just for a slightly different color. Let's maybe angle that a little bit. Put it like that. And then... now we finally have a spot for our trusty laptop. So we're going to put that guy like so. Beautiful. Moving on now to the living room. If it seems like I'm rushing through this, I gotta be honest, I kinda am. Like I said, gnarly heat wave coming through yet again today, and I am cooking. Both literally because of the heat and also I feel like we're kind of cooking with the furnishings here, slightly. Let's start with the sofa because that's a pretty large item for the living room. I don't want anything like futuristic looking. What the heck is this? It's one of them dang Amazon Basics inflatable sofas. I had a buddy back in middle school that had one of those, and I tried to sleep on it once. Never did it again. It was horrendous. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Ended up sleeping on the floor every other sleepover that we had. This could be good. It's a large sofa. I like the direction of the like ottoman piece there. I think that'll work pretty well. Might even just leave it black. We can't have black pillows as well though. Let's maybe switch that color up. We could do blue. Maybe like a light blue. Or maybe even something different. Well, and then we have tan walls, so we can't just do whatever the heck we want. Green? Sure. Sure, we'll do green with the other pillows being white. That's fine. Oh, it fits perfect right there. That's amazing. And we still have enough space for a small coffee table. Let's pivot to TVs. Because now that we have a lot of those... come on, brain, don't fail me. Steam Workshop items. We should have more TVs. But I don't think they show up. So in that case, let's go to this, interior design, scroll way down. I think I saw them down here. There's like a 95-inch flat screen TV or like a 105-inch. Something crazy, something absolutely massive. But I'm not seeing it now. We're gonna want one of these. Most likely. None of those TVs seem to be here. So that means that we're going with one of the in-game ones, which is all right. I don't want to choose that one that's really dark, though. Like the... oh, this could work. Right about here. I don't want it up too high either, because then when you're sitting on the couch, you're going to like break your neck trying to look up at the TV. That one seems to be illuminating normally, which is good. Like I said, I didn't really want the dark one. Now we're gonna need a entertainment center type thing. We could go with the Paxton stuff again. How big's the 200 centimeter one? Close. We need it to be a little bit longer than that. Maybe the 250? Or would the 300 fit over here? It would. It would. But gotta be dark ash. You already know. I really like how low profile this is too. That's gonna give us a lot of space for our egg ball. And then controllers too. We're gonna need controllers. Highlighter yellow base. And this one is gonna be blue. We'll do like 2 of these. Try to get them sort of scattered around. And then we're gonna change the light blue to pastel pink. If you haven't seen any of the other previous uploads or even any of the other like OG House Flipper videos, then you might not know that's just how my controllers actually look. Granted, we can't do them exact here, which is why we do some pink, some blue, but you get the idea. It's the channel colors. Paxton had a coffee table, right? Tea table. Close enough. Oh, there's the coffee table. What's the difference between a tea table and a coffee table? That seems too big. Maybe that's the difference. Coffee tables are more narrow than a tea table. If you know, let me know down in the comments. I haven't the slightest clue. Oh, that's too tall. Okay, so tea table might be shorter, but wider also. Let's go with this one. Still pretty wide. Maybe this guy. A perfect square. That'll do. Okay, I'm into it. I'm liking what we've got going on so far. I was tempted to try to put something maybe over on this wall, even if it's just like a bookshelf. But I feel like as soon as we start adding stuff over here, it's gonna get really cluttered really quickly. So this might be just better off as a straight shot hallway kind of thing. Which means the last area that we really have to do a bulk of the furnishings is gonna be out here at the little barbecue area. We're gonna want a grill. Let's get the charcoal grill. And I think I'm gonna put this over here just to make sure that we're gonna have plenty of space for some sort of outdoor furniture. Usually I just do like a L-shape sort of thing. Oh yeah, outdoor furniture is here. Like an L-shaped couch. I'm gonna try to not do that this time. And maybe we could do like a small sofa thing. Oh, you know what? It's still gonna end up being an L shape. So we probably could have just used the L-shaped one. But we've got the smaller one there. We just have to get this one set up the same way. And then we'll do like a end table just between the two. I think that looks great. It's definitely still an L shape. Probably would have looked a heck of a lot better if it had that veranda thing over the top of it, but I'm missing some pieces for it, so this is as good as it's gonna get. But now that we're done with the like major bulk of all the furnishings, I'm gonna take a few extra minutes here, go through each and every room, and just add in a bunch of teeny tiny little decorative pieces, and then we'll have our big reveal.
One eternity later.
Okay. I think I'm done. Might have blacked out there for a second. Started to get a little tunnel vision. But I think I did everything that I set out to do. So let's go on a very brief tour of everything. First of all, starting off here in the dining room area, one of you had recommended that I try top-down view, which doesn't appear to be working all of a sudden. Hello? Okay, well, you'll have to take my word for it. It was working. But one of you had recommended that I try top-down view to place rugs. It was great. It was so much easier than trying to do it in first person, I guess normal view. So we have a nice little area rug here inside the dining room. I tried real hard to get all the table settings properly laid out as they should be. We have a little centerpiece here, but fork on the left, as I'm sure you all know. That is the rule. I don't make the rules, but that is the rule. Fork always on the left. All I know is fine dining and breathing. China cabinet, sort of stocked. It's always really difficult to get up on the like higher up shelves. You almost need a step ladder or something to help you get up there, but I didn't want to Didn't want to take the time to do that. Some curtains might also, or just blinds, might also be in order. But you'll have to let me know what you think about that down in the comments below as well. Since this is our personal abode, we can, of course, make any changes as time goes on. I did have a rug here, which I've now put inside the pantry, but as soon as I added this other rug, I thought it covered up the floors too much, so I ditched the front entry rug for just nothing. We'll have to make sure that we keep that area nice and clear, specifically during the winter time. We've got another rug here just in front of the sink, which doesn't function. For some reason, I was under the impression that the kitchen sink actually worked, and that any of the sinks actually worked. Maybe I'm getting that confused with House Flipper 2. But, kitchen not too shabby. I didn't do as much additional decor in the kitchen as I did for the old custom office. But you can't go wrong with the classic eat sign inside of the kitchen. Everyone's mom probably has this in their kitchen, guaranteed. If not eat, it'll say like bon appetit or something. Super cliche, but you gotta do it, don't you? You gotta do it. Here, I'm imagining people having breakfast, mostly, as we've talked about before. So we've got some scones up there, some eggs, some bacon. You know the deal. Little fruit basket there, some random oils of some sort. Olive oil, maybe sunflower seed oil. Why do I say oil like that? I don't know. It just sort of happened one day. So I didn't actually look at this until just now, but the game does classify this as a living room with kitchenette. We'll be getting to the living room here momentarily. I believe I covered everything that's new in the dining room. Out in the garage, we got an engine stand, we have an engine crane, we have a cooler. Let me know down in the comments where you keep your cooler. I can almost guarantee it's either in your basement, if you have one of those, or in your garage. All of mine are in the rafters in my garage because we don't really use them that often. I did also add an additional little tool chest over here. Couldn't quite get it to be Ryobi colors, but that's all right. And then we have a floor jack. Had to add in this fire extinguisher. Very important, right? In case a fire were to break out, we got to be strapped. We got to be ready for that sort of thing. In the pantry, speaking of strapped, we have all of the essentials. Some of you may be wondering, Toogii, how do you keep such a slim figure all the time? Nobody's ever asked that. This is how. Chips, granola bars, Velveeta, even though I'm lactose intolerant. I don't think that's real cheese. It does say real cheese on the box though, doesn't it? Anyways, lactose intelligence. We have a lot of pancakes and finally a lot of ramen. Probably could have done another shelf of just ramen because of how frequently I consume this stuff. Over here, liquor cabinet. Not a drinker personally, but we have it on deck if we ever have people over who maybe are. And then we've got some herbs up here drying out, some aprons and a little, what do you call that? A pot holder, right? If a pot's hot, you usually use that to not burn yourself and whatnot. A couple of coffee mugs over here with a little coffee sign. I was torn between this spot for the circle mirror or obviously this spot, and I ended up putting it over here. I think it works a little bit better in that space. They're about the same width, really, so it's not all that different. Microwave wasn't an afterthought this time around. Made sure we had plenty of counter space for one of those. I do wish that we had more options for... I mean, it is a wall-mounted microwave as well. So if we really wanted to, we could put it under a cabinet. Doesn't really fit very well under this particular one. But that is an option. Maybe that's something that we'll mess around with at a later date. And something else that I mentioned at the very start, when we first started working on this property, not today, but in the previous episode, was I wanted to try to do more air conditioning units in each and every room, or just maybe one big one attached to the house somewhere. Didn't do that, but there's still time. Like I said, we can always make changes here and there, assuming this one sticks around for a while, we're going to be living here for a good while. Big full body mirror here as soon as you enter into the bedroom. I don't think there's too much changed in here. I did add a lucky cat because we have to have one of those. Wait, I totally skipped the bathroom. We'll come back to that. We've got our Attack on Titan poster over here. Some samurai swords chilling in the windowsill so people know not to mess with us. I feel like that's going to keep all the burglars away. This I just thought was a really funny visual. It's so small. I mean, we had to put bold and brash somewhere. It's a tradition now that we have access to all the old Steam Workshop items. But I just thought that this was a funny visual. Such a tiny little painting above such a large bed frame. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. Didn't end up doing anything on the bookshelves. We have a lot of books. I'm not a reader myself, but we can add them in there so at least we look cool, I guess. Blue towels here in the bathroom just to sort of tie in the blue paint scheme. And then toilet paper, of course, toilet paper brush, soap, toothbrush over there in the corner. That's about it. Nothing super crazy going on in there. And kind of same thing in this bathroom. Just put in a hand towel, soap, toilet paper holder, and then a brush. Didn't do a dang thing in here because it doesn't need anything else, I don't think. And almost last but certainly not least, because we still have the outdoor seating area as well. Never mind, I didn't change anything out here, didn't add anything. So last but not least, the living room. I put in a Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch, because that's what my wife has, IRL. I did a rug, an area rug in here, because it tied in the green from the pillows, sort of. And then we got Jenga smack dab in the center of the coffee table. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. We still need something up here. Couldn't find anything that I really, really loved. Maybe some movie posters or something, but that's another thing maybe you guys can help me out with down in the comments. And on that note, ladies and gents, I have got to get out of this office. I am way too dang hot right now. So on that note, that is unfortunately where we're going to have to wind things down at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.